Hi guys, today is an exciting video for me because it is all about a new drugstore brand. This is from Walgreens and it is called CYO. This is available in select Walgreens stores and online. I don't have any Walgreens stores near me that carry this product, but I was able to order a large collection of products when it was buy two get one free on their website. One other quick thing I wanted to mention, this seems to be a product that Boots England launched. So Boots is at kind of the Walgreens over in London, England, and I believe they're out throughout different countries in Europe as well. Walgreens and Boots kind of have an alliance. I don't know if one bought the other or if they just collaborate together a lot, but this is the same group that put together the No. 7 line. It's the same group that put together the Botanics line that's in Walgreens stores, and now they've kind of launched their most affordable brand, CYO. And when I say affordable, I really do mean affordable. These products range anywhere from $3 to $5 on average. Some a little bit higher if you're buying like an eyeshadow palette or something like that. But I'm very impressed with the price point that they offered and then also the selection and the variety. So if you'd like videos like this, testing new drugstore makeup, make sure to give this a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get into all the things I think. Let's start out with kind of my faves, then we'll work our way into things that I'm kind of like, about, wasn't good nor necessarily bad. And then we'll talk about some things that I definitely think you should avoid and why. So the first thing that I absolutely have to mention is this long-lasting foundation. It says Life Proof. I have the shade 101. I believe this was the lightest shade that they offered. Really great. I would say kind of satin finish foundation. It's not overly dewy, but it's definitely not matte. It blends into the skin like a dream. It just kind of looks like a second skin. It is what I'm wearing on my face today. I think it is a really good neutral shade, so it's not too warm, it's not too cool. It just blends into the skin incredibly well. Every time I put this on, I look in the mirror and think I'm having a great skin day. It is medium coverage. I think it's buildable, but probably isn't going to get all the way to full, but you could definitely sheer it out a little bit as well, so I think it's highly flexible. I don't know how well it would work if you had super oily skin. I have normal skin that gets a little maybe oily in my T-zone and can get dry in patches in the wintertime. I've had no problems with this. When it says long lasting, it really is. I have put this to the test and worn it for 10+ hours and I feel like it looks great on the skin the whole time. If you're going to pick up one product from this range, I highly recommend this. I like this as much, if not better, than many of the high-end foundations that I own. And I'm just starting to become convinced that Boots knows how to do a foundation really well. But yeah, I love it. It comes with a pump, important details. And then one of the things I also like about it is it actually has that kind of suction on the bottom here, so it's gonna suck up the product and you're really gonna get every ounce of product out of here. It is 1 fluid ounce, so it is a standard size, and I really can't say anything bad about this. I freaking love this stuff. Another product I've really been enjoying from them is their contour kit, Girls on Contour. This is the shade Fair. It's in just kind of black packaging. What's nice is it doesn't get fingerprints on it, so I do enjoy that. And then inside you have a really pretty contour shade and then a light kind of champagne gold highlight. The highlight is really pretty. It's not glittery at all. It just adds this really subtle, beautiful illumination to the skin. And then the contour color is a really nice contour color. It's not super pigmented. I don't love super pigmented contour. I think it's hard to blend out. I would rather build it up, but I think the color is really nice. It's not super gray, it's not super ashy, but it definitely does the job, blends out really well. The powders are a little stiffer, so you're not going to get a ton of kickback in the pan, so if you hate that, this is going to be a great option for you. It comes with a mirror on the top, which I think is also great for travel, but I really enjoy this, and I think if you have fair to medium skin tone, you would actually really enjoy this. They did make a deeper skin tone one as well. I think there was one other kit out there, so if you have a deeper skin tone, there's an option for you. Last face product I want to recommend in my loves list is their matte press powder. This comes in several shades. I can't remember exactly how many. I'll put them on the screen. It's in a round compact like this. It has a mirror at the top. The color I have here is in Fair. I'm showing you guys swatches. It's kind of hard to always swatch a powder, but what I would say about this one in particular is it's one of those powders that never looks cakey. It has a very nice slip to it. It's smoothing, but it doesn't look cakey or heavy. So this is actually a really great powder, I think, to put on over top of the foundation I'm wearing. But also, if you get a little oily throughout the day, this is one of those really great powders that you can blot and then just put a little bit of powder over the top, and it's going to refresh your entire makeup and not make it look heavy or cakey on your skin. It does say mattifying, but it's not one of those matte powders that I find sucks the life out of your skin. So I honestly think this powder would work pretty well for just about all skin types, especially because it's got that like really nice slip to it. I think even if you have dry skin, you could use this powder and not be mad at it. Let's talk about a couple of eyeshadow singles. These are the Metallic Eyeshadow Crush on Metal, and I got two shades. The first is College Crush. This is a pure gold, and it is a stunning, stunning gold on the eyes. And then the second shade I picked up was Cooeey, and this is just one of those sort of warm bronze shades that just is really flattering all the time on the eyes. This is definitely a formula that feels thinner, but still packs a really metallic punch. I really have enjoyed wearing both of these on my eyes. I've done them both wet and dry. Wet definitely gives you that like liquid metal sort of feel to them. I really enjoyed these. I think for the money, if there's a shade there that appeals to you, you can't go wrong with these. I think you will really enjoy them. Let's talk about a couple of lip products that I think they did really well. The first up is a classic bullet lipstick. This is in the shade Living Together, and this is just one of those really pretty pinky nudes. It just flatters so many skin types. It's definitely not super fair, but I think it gives you enough dimension so that your lips don't look like concealer lips. I just think it's a really, really pretty shade. It's a creamy formula. It has a really light, subtle, fruity scent, but nothing too extreme. I really like the formula of this. It's just a classic cream lipstick. It's not matte, but it's definitely not too slippy. It's kind of more like your average lipstick, and I really have enjoyed that one quite a lot. The other lip product that I got from them that I am enjoying a lot is a lipstick and liner. This is called Too Clever by Half, and on one end you get a really nice liner, and on the other end you get a more sheer, I would say it's more of a sheer toned lipstick. It packs a little bit of pigment, but it's definitely more glossy, as you can see. The liner is definitely creamy enough. You could put this all over your lips, or you could just use it as a liner. And then this sort of more glossy lipstick really looks pretty over the top. And the combo of the two, especially when you layer underneath, really, really lasts a long time and feels comfortable on the lips. All right, now let's talk about some products that I would say are just kind of middle of the road for me. They're not necessarily bad products, but they're products that I probably wouldn't reach for one reason or another. These may be products that work for you, and I'll kind of talk about what those reasons might be. But for me personally, these are probably things that I'm not going to keep in my collection. First up is this Illuminating Mixing Cream Turn on the Light. This is in Raise Glass. I believe there was another shade of this. My biggest issue with this is that if you are going to be an illuminating mixer, you better be pretty illuminating. I found this to just be kind of ho-hum illumination. It didn't really do much as a primer, and then it wasn't illuminating enough to really mix into foundations and see that an impact had been made. So I just feel like this didn't really do anything for me. I tried it several different ways. I tried it mixed in with things. I tried it mixed, used like just on the high points of my cheek like I would a cream highlighter. That didn't really do anything. I tried it as a primer. It did absolutely nothing as a primer. So this one just was underwhelming to me. I guess I could have put it in my total fails video, but I feel like I had products from them that are a lot worse than this, and so it didn't make it into the bottom of the barrel. I'm kind of making it seem like it was a god-awful product. It wasn't necessarily that. It just didn't pack enough punch for me to warrant using. It was just too subtle. Another product that didn't work out for me personally, but might work for other people, is the bronzer. And this is the bronzing powder When the Sun Don't Shine in the shade Fair. This actually had a really creamy, beautiful texture. So I had no issues with it from a texture perspective. My problem was that this is a very yellow toned bronzer. I don't do well with yellow toned bronzers. They just look, they make me look jaundiced. Not even suntan, just straight up jaundiced. So for me personally, this was a pass. If you are fair like myself, but have more of a yellow undertone versus cool like myself, this might actually be a great product for you. I can't quite tell off the website if going up a shade deeper would give me a better undertone and I could just maybe use a light hand. Once again, it is a matte bronzer. It applies beautifully. It looks great on the skin. The texture is really creamy and blends super smoothly. This is just a color issue for me, therefore it's not something I will personally be reaching for. Next up is another product which is interesting, and I just feel like it has something to do with skin tone and maybe also something to do with me not knowing how to use these products. So this is their Bronzing Rocks. This is in Rock and Gold, and this is the fair medium shade. And it's definitely a combination of pearl and gold rocks. So here is my issue with this. I've been trying to form some words. Words are not coming. This doesn't work as a bronzer. It is, if I build it up enough to use it as a blush, more of a natural toned blush, it's way too freaking shiny. It's too dark to be a highlighter. So all I can really see myself using this for is kind of like a bronzer, blusher, topper thing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know how to use these effectively in a way that doesn't leave my skin. I felt like too many times when I tried to use this, I ended up looking like the Tin Man. And then I was going in with mattifying powders trying to buff it out because I was just too shiny all over the place. If you've tried a product like this and you love it, let me know how you use it. Yeah, I don't know. It was not my favorite product. Can you see the confusion here? So I got two blushes. This is their Crush On Blush Powder Shadow, and I got the shade Tell It To Me Straight, which is like a peachy gold color. And then I got the shade Strong Words, which is a really pretty berry color, but let's be clear, I'm not wearing this shade anytime soon. It is way too flippin' dark for me. So this shade is really pretty. It is a matte shade. I think the texture, once again, is very similar to the bronzer. I really like the texture. It's just very pigmented. I really struggled to use this in a way that didn't come off just like shock of blush on me. So color-wise, it's not going to work for me. This one is really pretty, this peachy blush, and if you like a peachy blush that has a strong gold shift to it, this might be really good for you. I just found the gold shift to be a little too strong. On my undertone, I have to really watch out for makeup that has a lot of gold on my cheeks, or it can just make me look strange. Like it just looks brassy on me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Stumbling over words here, but it just looks brassy on my skin, and I wasn't a huge fan of how this looked. I think if you have more of a medium skin tone, this would be absolutely gorgeous on you. I'm struggling a little bit because I liked the formula on both of these. I would love to find a shade that worked, but I didn't find that the shades were very true to life. You also couldn't tell which were matte versus shimmer on the website. As much as I want to find one of these that I like, I kind of feel like it's a crapshoot finding a color. So if you think one of these would work for you, by all means, I don't not recommend them. I think it's just tough buying them online. Let's jump over actually to a lipstick product, because this is another one where I had the same problem. So this lipstick that I loved, that was in my faves, the shade Living Together, in that same kind of bulleted collection, I got the shade Rekindling. And it's frosty, and I don't really care for frosty colors. I think the color on this is beautiful, but it is frost, and I don't love frost lipsticks. So I kind of wish they had done a better job of putting down descriptions for the products online. Once again, the formula is great. It's very similar to this, but it's just one of those instances where it's like, tell me this is a cream, tell me this is a frost so that I can order appropriately. Yeah, that's why this one is a pass for me. And I also think ordering colors of this similar to the blush may be difficult. Now, I really do love Living Together a ton, so I can highly recommend this one. I'm hesitant to try more colors because I think a lot of them may be frosty. I don't know. Let's bounce back to a couple of concealers. So the first is the highlighting concealer brush with Brilliance. This is the shade Fair. It is kind of that typical brush type applicator with the click button on the end. My issue with this is that they called it Fair. And as you can see from the swatches here, this is anything but fair. It is way too deep for my skin tone, so I can't use it. I did think the formula blended out nicely. It did actually remind me quite a bit of the Boots Radiant Concealer that is similar style packaging to this. I just won't be able to use this because it's too dark. Another concealer that kind of sits in this middle of the road category to me is the, well, it doesn't really say. So this is their stick concealer in Fair. I like stick concealers or potted concealers for concealing acne blemishes versus the liquidy ones I like to put underneath my eyes. This one's not bad. I just don't think it offers quite as much coverage as my Revlon one. Therefore, I'm not going to reach for it. When I'm concealing acne, I really want to conceal acne. I want it to go away. And this one was just a little bit more lightweight for me. And then I don't like using this kind underneath my eye. So I just think there's better options. Was it horrible? No. But I think there's better options at the drugstore if you like concealing with this kind of creamy stick format. I also tried the Brow Sculpting Mind Brow Pencil. This has a spoolie on one side and then kind of a roll-up triangle shaped one on this end. I liked the undertone of this. It's a little stiff, but I don't mind that. I'd rather build it up. My problem with this was that the shape was just a little too fat down at one end, and therefore it made it kind of hard to control. I don't mind thicker pencils, but I feel like if it gets too thick, I'm going to use the word bulbous even, at one end, as you can see here, it just becomes really difficult to control. I found myself just using the point in my eyes, and if I'm going to do that, then it's really not a pencil format that I'm going to use effectively. It's going to wear down in weird ways. So for that reason, even though the color was great and I did mind the formula, this one's just going to be a pass for me. Another one that I was just kind of meh about was the CYO Curl Mascara. My lashes stick out straight. I do everything I possibly can to get them to curl and hold a curl. What I find is a lot of mascaras weigh them down. They may give me great volume or great length, but they tend to weigh my lashes down. This one didn't necessarily do that. I do think it kind of helped the curl stay up, but it didn't really give me any volume and it didn't really give me any length. It was just kind of made my lashes look meh. So even though they were curled, they weren't really giving me a lot of pizzazz. So that's a pass for me. And then the last three that I was just kind of meh about, these weren't bad products, but I don't necessarily think that they would be something that I would encourage you to go rush out and buy, are their matte eyeshadows. So this is the matte and eyelid, and I picked up 3 shades in this. I picked up a light cream shade, which is Hiatus. This is actually a really good brow bone shade. It's also really good for setting eyeshadows. These have a beautiful feel to them. They actually apply really well. The shade Nothing to It is sort of a light taupey color. Once again, I mean, it applied well, but I feel like I've got a zillion shades like this, and so it's not really anything worth running out for. And then the last shade I picked up was Deep Thought, which is sort of a neutral chocolate brown color. Once again, it blended out really well. It's a pretty color. I don't know, it's just not anything that I was just like, wow, gorgeous. And the colors that they did sell in these little eyeshadow mattes were pretty basic. So if they had had some more interesting matte colors, like a really pretty orange or a really interesting purple, I'd be more apt to recommend trying more shades. But I think these are colors that you all have, and so unless you're looking for just a really easy to keep in your bag matte brow bone kind of highlight shade, I think these are just kind of not worth spending your money on. Okay, so now let's talk about some stuff that is not so bueno. So let's start with the one that I was like, oh, but Jesus, no, the minute I tried it. This is their fixing spray. It has a decent pump. The spray is not awful. I mean, to be honest, the spray is actually better than most. This is like pure alcohol. Like, seriously, it smells like rubbing alcohol. Like stuff before you can go get a flu shot and they rub your arm with it in order to like sanitize your skin before you get your flu shot. Like, that's what this smells like and I'm about to spray this on my face? I don't think so. And it burned like a mo. Like I can't. I can't. Don't buy this. Another product that I was really excited for when I saw it online, and then I got it and I was like, what? This is their contour, highlight, and blush palette. And I like these palettes for travel. I frequently will take a palette that has a bronzer, blush, highlight kind of combo in there because I think it's easy. So this is the shade Fair Medium. It has a gorgeous mirror, as you can see. So first of all, I hate palettes that mix those two together. I just do. The contour shade is pretty, but I like the one that's in this kit better. The highlight shade is a really strange yellow color. It's not a concealer shade. It's not gonna brighten up here. It doesn't have much glow to it. It's just weird. And then this pink is super bright and I found really tricky to blend out on the skin. So this was just all kinds of fail to me. I did not enjoy anything in here. So then speaking of another cream product I didn't really love, this is their cream blush in Smart Talk. Now the shade is probably the prettiest of all the blush shades I've used, but it is so freaking stiff and impossible to blend out on the cheeks. Like I really wanted to like this, but I really don't. I'm not a huge cream blush fan either. I will use the ones from ColourPop. There's a couple from e.l.f. that I enjoy, but in general I'm not a huge cream blush fan. This is just really too stiff. I just don't care for it, which sucks because out of the blush shades that I've tried, this is the shade I like the most. I just don't like the formula. All right, the last face product that I didn't really care for and didn't really get is this. This is their bronzing stick in Fair Medium. This is pure metallic. Like I don't get it. Like it is pure metal. Like this is like a metallic bronzy eyeshadow. Like, and I'm gonna put this all over my face. Like, just once again, I feel like this is one of those products that's just gonna make you look like a tin man, no matter how you use it. So once again, I don't get it. It's a very warm shade. On top of that, like it's very brassy. So this is definitely not good for fair skin tones, like it said. So sometimes products are so bad that I struggle to actually figure out like, what were they thinking? Like, who developed this product and was like, that's a really great idea. Let's make someone look like a bronze tin man and proclaim it's bronzer. No. A couple of eyeshadows that I really wanted to love from the singles line, and I actually got one in the mail and I kind of liked it and I went and ordered a couple more, which was my mistake. This is their Shimmer eyeshadow. It has come out of the pan, as you can see. This is how it arrived, all of them like this. The pigmentation on the two brown shades here, this more cool taupe in in Intergalactic, and then this more warm brown in This Is Fantasy, isn't bad. And then the pink and the gold shade really didn't apply very well. So this is Safe Landing in the pink, and Everything or Otherworldly in the gold. These did not perform very well. So, and then they were having the same problem with the powders just like popping out. I can't recommend them, unfortunately, because I feel like they were going in a good direction, but then something about the formula just went horribly awry. All right, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. I was super excited to try one of these. So this is the Rainbow Warrior eyeshadow palette. The colors in here are weird. None of the powder shades apply well to the eyes. They've got two highlight shades, a silver and a gold, which are just so blah. Like they're super sheer. They've got some sparkle to them, but really do nothing when you put them on the lid. Then you've got a brow bone highlight and a primer, and neither of those work well either. The primer actually caused I used the primer with different eyeshadows, and it actually caused the eyeshadows to do just super weird things. Like I couldn't get it set and it was creasing. It was just super weird. There's absolutely nothing redeemable about this eyeshadow palette, which is unfortunate because I got kind of excited that there were eyeshadow palettes out there that were a little bit different from what I'm seeing from other brands and more interesting colors. This was just bad. It was chalky, it was patchy, none of the colors were pigmented, they didn't blend well. So yeah, nothing good about this eyeshadow palette, unfortunately. And then this is the semi-permanent eyeliner, and this is a keeper. This was not as permanent as I would hope. I definitely had some problems with smudging after about 5 or 6 hours. And then I also highly dislike this brush tip. The other problem I had, I thought it was just really hard to apply. Then the other problem I had with it was that the product itself is kind of thick and goopy. It made it super easy to over apply this eyeliner and actually have it like just smoosh all over your eyes. So this is a pass. I can't see this working for anyone, to be totally honest. And last in the fails list is a lipstick. This is the shade Sleepover. This is their matte lipstick. This is both a shade and a formula fill for me. This is way too bubblegum pink for me. I would never use a shade like that. And then on top of that, the formula is just felt very stiff and really settled into every single line on my lip. It's not super drying, but the formula had this weird sort of waxy feel to it that never really applied smoothly and then settled into lip lines, and I didn't care for the formula enough to, or I didn't care for the color at all, and I didn't like the formula enough to want to try another one of these in a color I might prefer more. So I think their matte formula is a pass, and I think there are much better matte formulas at the drugstore. So that wraps it up for today's video on CYO. As you can see, I think they've got some products that are absolutely stellar and worth checking out. There's some products that you may or may not enjoy depending on your skin tone or your preferences, and there's definitely a pile of stuff that I would say stay clear away from. That setting spray, no one needs that in their life. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to bringing you guys more awesome drugstore content in the future. Bye.